The idea for me that I lost control of my life to addiction, that never sat well with me at all, right? Even when I was drinking the most alcohol in my life. And that's not diluting the extent of the problem that I had, the problem that I built for myself. But for me, talking about myself as an addict, following myself down the road of thinking that there was a fault in the wiring up here somewhere that had been passed down through the generations from my grandparents and so on and so forth. And that there was nothing that I could do. This was something I could do nothing about. Like I said, that never sat well with me. And this was a problem, as far as I'm concerned, that I built for myself. Also, I don't put too much faith in looking back and trying to figure out what I did, why I did this, why I did that, why I started drinking, why I continued to drink, why I wanted to drink more and more. You know, there's some kind of merit in seeing your life openly, examining your own history and trying to understand who you are by seeing how you got here. But you can get lost in the whys of this. You know, what's happening now, I think, is much more important, because this is where you make the changes happen for yourself. You can't change anything that you've done, right? It is what it is. That's end of story. You know, if you don't want to repeat what you've done, you have to change. And the only place you can make those changes happen is right now. So that's why I don't agree with it. Now, what you do when you're trying to make changes, you're trying to get sober. And what happens if you're trying to get sober and you keep failing over and over again? What choice do you have but to give it another go? You know, it's a serious question, right? Once you understand that the problem is there, you can't go back to your old thinking and pretend that it's not there anymore, right? And I think that's where taking the burden of what you have built, the habit that you've built, directly upon your own shoulders, I think it's super important. You can't unknow what you know, right? You can't go back and be ignorant of what's causing the problems. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be confronting you now, even if you don't face up to it. Of course, alcohol is still the escape. It's always going to be that way. It's always going to be able to give you that, but it's not the escape it used to be. You know, there's a part of you, even when you're getting drunk out of your face, that knows what you're doing to yourself. There's a part of you that wants to change all the time. You know, alcohol gives you a temporary release, but even the relief that it offers is now very weak, and the consequences are becoming more and more real, more common, more permanent as you go through this. So in the last years of my alcohol life, having fun when I was drinking became rarer and rarer. The predominant emotion, I think, for me was apathy or sadness. Anticipation of that first drink was probably the highest moment. It was all downhill from there. So, you know, the one thing that you must do if you fail is to keep trying. Don't give up. Believe me, I know what it's like to try something over and over, to fail over and over. And it's only if you really give up, right? If you stop trying to stop drinking alcohol, then you've really failed yourself. I encourage you to develop a growth mindset. If you fall, figure out what went wrong. That's step one. Once you've figured out what went wrong, then you can only use that then to stop yourself from making that same mistake over and over again. If you want support and accountability and encouragement, I'd like to be that person. Come over to Habits V2. We've got a lot of advice there, a lot of videos, a lot of different ways that we can help you overcome the journey, the setbacks, all of those kind of things. But it's mostly we change the mindsets. So if you like my approach and you want someone with some answers, someone who's going to be there for you, someone who will check in regularly to see how you're doing, somebody who can offer you guidance and feedback when it's needed, and leave you alone when it's not needed, then go to the link down below, habitsv2.com. All right, take care of yourself, keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Bye for now, speak to you soon, onwards and upwards. Bye now.